Hello friends, I am Dilip Singh. Welcome to the 16th CSS lecture of the tutorial series for web programming. Today we'll see the CSS padding and margin properties. CSS padding property is used to specify how much space should appear between the content of an element and its border. So simply using the padding property, this will act as a shorthand for using all these four properties. So the padding, if you want to apply the padding in all the four directions, then we can use simply the padding. Or if you want to put the padding into the top only, so padding top property we can use. Similarly, padding bottom we can use to put the padding in bottom. Then in order to put the padding in the left, we can use padding left property, and similarly padding right property will use to put the padding into the right of the content of an element. Okay. Similarly, margin basically used to define the space around an HTML element, and it is possible, or we can use the negative value in margin in order to overlap the contents. We'll see how. So similar to the padding, here also we can use in margin also we can use margin top in order to put the margin at top, margin bottom for the bottom, margin left for the left, and margin right for the putting the margin at the right of an element. Okay, and simply using margin will act as a shorthand for setting the all margin properties. Okay. So let's see how we can use padding and margin one by one. So initially we are having this page where the title is CSS margin and paddings properties. Okay, and here we are having two elements. One is a heading, first heading, and the paragraph P. This is my first paragraph, and initially these paragraphs are having their border. So h1 is having the border of blue color with a solid line of 2 pixel width, and paragraph is having the border of red color of solid line with 3 pixel width. So let's see initially how our pages look like. So this is how our pages look like. We are having two elements. One is a heading with its border visible as a blue, and another one is a paragraph with its border visible as a red. Now what is padding? We already have seen the box model in our previous lectures. So the padding basically used to specify the space between this element and this border. Let's say, suppose what I want, the element, this is my first paragraph, and the border, this space I want to increase. How I can increase? Using padding property. So suppose I want to increase this space to the top edge only. So what I will use? In P paragraph I will use padding top, and how much space I want, that we can specify in pixels. Suppose I want 10 pixels, and save it. Then I will go there and refresh, and you can see at the top this space appear, this space between the top border and the actual content of a paragraph element. So this is a top padding. Similarly, if you want to apply the left padding, what I will use? Padding left, to be suppose 15 pixel. Refresh it and see, this is the left padding. of 15. Similarly, bottom padding, I can use padding bottom, suppose again 13 pixel. We'll go to the web page and refresh it. So this is the bottom padding. So this is how we can use padding in order to specify the space between the border and the actual content of an element. The same thing we can write in shorthand by simply putting padding. Suppose I want to put a padding of equal size in each edges, top, bottom, left, right. So I'll put here padding, suppose 15 pixel, and I'll go to the browser and refresh it. You can see the now the padding is 15 pixel top, 15 pixel left, 15 pixel bottom, 15 pixel right. So equal size padding. Similarly, simply we can use by single line putting shorthand padding only. Now the margin. So margin basically margin basically used to specify the space between two elements. Suppose here in between heading and the paragraph, this is the space, means this is the margin here. Now I can increase or decrease this margin space by using margin properties. Okay, so suppose since this is the top of this element having the another element heading, so I want to increase the top margin. So what I will do, I will use margin top property, and here I'll put suppose 30 pixel, and I'll refresh it, and you can see now this is a 30 pixel distance between this element and this element. In place of 30 pixel, suppose I want it to be 50 pixel. So I'll refresh it. Here you can see the distance between, so this is a margin, the distance between this element and the another element at the top of this element is now become 50 pixel, right? This is how we can use margin in order to put the space between the elements of a web page. Okay, the margin can be a negative value also. So suppose here in place of 15 pixel I want to put -10, and let's see what happened. I'll refresh it. See, let's make it -20. I'll refresh it, and now the margin between these two elements is reduced to the -20. If I still decrease, then these two elements will overlap. Suppose -20 to -30. So now if I refresh, see, these two elements are now overlapping with each other. Okay, so as per your need, you can use this margin property. Right, now I'll put it to 40 so they cannot overlap. Now similarly, margin top, you can use margin bottom, margin left, margin right, or the simple shorthand simply margin. So this shorthand will apply to all the edges. If I'll put single value here, suppose 40 pixel. Okay, I'll remove this, and in place of this simply I will write 40 pixel. So here now, since I have used simply margin, I have not specified whether the margin top, bottom, left or right. So margin will apply to the all top, bottom, left or right. So now here you can see in the result the margin, left margin 40 pixel, top 40, right 40, and the bottom 40. So this is how we can use margin property to specify the space between the elements. Okay, so this is all for this lecture, and friends, after watching this video, if you feel that it was really helpful to understand the concept, then please like and subscribe the video. Thank you guys.